Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Brandon, also known as Super Fanboy Guy, and I welcome you all to episode 8 of the Playground series. For some of you that don't know what the Playground series is, maybe this is the first time you're stumbling on this video, maybe doing a search on YouTube or something like that. But this is a series of videos where I take a versus system deck, I show you the cards in the deck, and I kind of play test it for you on Octagon, which is this magnificent piece of software that's right here in front of you. And we just kind of play the deck, show you some of the strategies, talk about the cards, and just kind of just some stuff like that. So I just wanted to also, as a disclaimer before I go into this video, it's been really windy around me. The Santa Ana winds are just picking up like mad. So if you hear wind chimes or some wind in the background, I do apologize for that. But it's just the way things are. So hopefully it won't record in this video. But anyway, so let's kind of talk about the deck for today. And this deck is going to be, I decided to do the Secret Society deck. And this deck, I did a gameplay video of this, I think a while back earlier this year. And I just kind of wanted to show everybody that exact same deck that I used. And I believe this deck profile came from somebody from the Versus System Collective group. I did think I found it on one of the Versus System websites. And if anybody wants to share that website with me, I forget what it's called, but hopefully somebody out there in YouTube land knows what it is. But anyway, so yeah, Secret Society. So what do? Secret Society is really good at, taking advantage of the graveyard or the KO pile as it's mentioned in this game. So there are a bunch of cards that put cards into the KO pile, and then you're able to get some of those cards back with some of the effects of the Secret Society characters. So for an example, we have a good card to start off is Straight to the Grave. This has always been a staple Secret Society card. It's also been used in a bunch of other decks in combination with cards like Avalon Space Station, Slaughter Swamp, and Soul World. So what this does is you search your deck for a character card, put it into the KO pile. If you control a Secret Society character, also search your deck for a non-character card and put it into your KO pile. So a lot of people kind of splash this card in other kind of, Mega City is one of the decks that people use this card with, but they only use it to get the character, and then they can get the character back in their hands by those ways that I mentioned a few moments ago. But since we are playing Secret Society, we are also going to take advantage of the second effect to get a non-character card. So what are some of the cards that we want to put in the KO pile with this card? Well, let's talk about one specific character. Let's talk about this Charaxes, this 2-drop. So he's just kind of like a 3/2 flyer. Whenever you recruit a character with cost 5 or greater that shares an affiliation with him, if he's in your KO pile, you get to put him in the play for free, which is pretty nice because it's like a free character, it just comes into play and nothing much to say about that. So that is definitely one of the targets you would want to get with Straight to the Grave. Now, in terms of the non-character cards, the one that you want is Agility. And because this is a card that your Secret Society character gets +2 defense for the attack. And at the start of the recovery phase, if it's in your KO pile, you can KO a character you control to return it to your hand. So that actually combos really well with this Charaxes, because at the end of the turn, you can KO Charaxes to get agility back in your hand. Then if you recruit a 5-cost character or greater, you can then get him back during your recruit step. So that's one of the combos that I wanted to talk about, and which is, a way to get just massive advantage. So what are some other characters you might want to put in with Straight to the Grave? Well, you definitely want to put some of these 1-drop characters like the Riddler, Riddle Me This, Dr. Polaris, Chemo. And the reason why you want to put these 1-drops in your KO pile is because on turn 3 you have Poison Ivy Intoxicating, and at the start of the combat phase you can put one of those 1-cost characters from your KO pile in the play for free. And then once you put that in the play for free, you then have this combo locked up where you can KO it. Every turn you just get back another 1-cost character. You could also put one of these 1-cost characters in the KO pile with Straight to the Grave if you wanted to kind of start that engine. But that's just to kind of show you what this Poison Ivy can do. And also, another card that you want to put in the KO pile with Straight to the Grave is the Sinestro, because when he's in there, all of your characters have flight and range. So that's just having flight and range on all your characters is really good to hit some of those back row characters. Also, I just want to note that Remote Facility is also one of those cards that you discard a card, return a Secret Society character card from your KO pile to your hand. So that is kind of like an Avalon, Slaughter Swamp, Soul World kind of effect. And it's just really, you really use it as a utility to get some of your cards back, so you're guaranteed, your character cards on the turn that you need them. And probably one of the most expensive character cards in the deck, and the most popular, probably in my opinion, is this Black Mana loyalty. So you have to have a Secret Society character out to play him, but you pay 3 endurance and you put target card from your KO pile into your hand, and you can only use it once per turn. So this has a similar effect to the Teen Titans card Garth Ennis, I think is what his name is, or it's just Garth. I don't remember, but I'll put a picture on the video so you all can compare the two. But yeah, he's like super expensive. He's like a $50 card, so that's why he's just crazy. But he's also really good in this deck, as you could see. But let's kind of also talk about other ways to get cards in the KO pile with Dr. Sivana. A simple effect, you just activate, target player draws a card, then discards a card, so you can target yourself. So if you have a Charaxes in your hand, you get to draw a card and then put them in the KO pile, so you can use for that kind of combo also. And then this Gorilla Grodd Awful, KO Secret Society character you control will cost X. Target players draws X cards, then discards X cards, use only once per turn. So very good with Charaxes, because you can draw 2, discard 2, and when you recruit either Black Mana or someone with a greater cost than him, he can just come back. So I know I've said that a couple of times, so I apologize for repeating myself. So let's also talk about Gorilla City. Put the top card of your deck into your KO pile. Target Secret Society attacker you control gets +1 in this attack, or +3 attack if you control 10 or more cards in your KO pile. So obviously with this deck, it's really easy to fill your KO pile with a bunch of cards. So another way to mill too is we have this card, Unnatural Selection. To play Exhausted Secret Society character you control, KO target stun character will cost X. Each player puts the top X cards of his deck into his KO pile. So you can KO a 3-drop. Each of you mill 3 cards. That's pretty much how it works. And of course we have the staple cards, which I'm not going to go over because Mobilize just allows us, it's our search card, another one of our search cards that allow us to search for another Secret Society character card. Pathetic Attempt is good for negating some of those plot twists that may replace our locations. Omnipotence, there might be some cards that are really bad against that, so we want to make sure we name that with Omnipotence. Also, Birthing Chamber is really good because you get to draw a card if you have 4 or more characters, but if you have 6 or more, you draw 2 cards instead and discard a card. And discarding is another great way to fill up the graveyard. And also, just getting hand advantage is also very nice. Now, Path of Destruction is our really beefy card. It's our card that's going to deal us the most attack damage. Target attacker you control gets +2 attack this attack, and an additional +2 attack for each Path of Destruction in your KO pile. So one combo that I like to do with this is I would like to play, like, let's say we have 2 of Path of Destructions in our KO pile, and we play this so we get +6 attack. Well, now with Black Mana, we can pay 3 to put this back in our hand to give another +6 attack for a total of 12 attack, which is just really great beat power kind of effects like that, which is always really nice. And also, this Master Plan is only really good. You can discard a Secret Society character card, and you may recruit target character from a KO pile this turn, and you only use it once per turn. So yes, you can recruit cards from your opponent's KO pile as well. So I may have used this on my opponent's characters in the past, maybe a couple of times, but I normally just recruit my own characters. But there may be a scenario where, oh, you're on turn 9 and you milled their Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, and now you get to play it and drain them, and just all sorts of shenanigans like that. Mr. Freeze, cold-blooded, you remove 10 cards, you activate him, remove 10 cards in your KO pile from the game. Opposing characters cannot ready during the recovery phase of turn. Really great against multiplayer, but also good. So if you're taking the even initiative on turn 7, you can activate him. So if you go to turn 7 and it's your opponent's turn, then they can't ready their characters, which gives you kind of an advantage. And then we are also going to talk about Riddler really quick. Put the top card of target player's deck into his KO pile. Your opponents can't play Plot Twist with the cost as that card this turn. So you can mill yourself or you can mill your opponent. You most likely in this deck want to mill yourself. So you mill yourself if it's a 2-cost card, then they can't play 2 costs for the turn. And also an interaction that I want to also say with Poison Ivy. If you, let's say during the recruit step, you have a Riddler out and you have a Poison Ivy out, if you have, let's say, another Riddler in your hand, you can bring in that Riddler during the combat phase into play. So you have 2 Riddlers out on the field, so you don't have to KO them. Because remember, the KO unique rule for characters only applies during the recruit step. So you can have 2 Riddlers out as long as you put it in with Poison Ivy's effect. And that is a ruling I found out earlier this year, which is one thing that makes this deck really powerful. Dr. Polaris is KO Dr. Polaris, exhaust target character used only during your attack step. So it's kind of like a stall card. And then the last card we're going to talk about is Chemo, Toxic Waste, KO Chemo, replace target face-up non-team up resource. And he is a reservist, so if you need to play him in your resource row, you can. And since he does, I mean, it's a way to keep bringing him back with Poison Ivy so we can keep replacing, locations or those non-team up ongoing plot twist cards. So also you can also use this effect to replace your own face up plot twist cards. Maybe you've activated Straight to the Grave and then you want to just try to get some value. You can also do that as well. And also I forgot to mention these 2 also. Deathstroke, the Terminator, at the start of the recovery phase, each opponent KOs a non-stun character he controls. So if all your characters, your little 2, 3, and 4 drop characters are stunned, or I'm sorry, your opponents, those characters of theirs are stunned, and they have, let's say, a 5 or a 6 drop character, well, they have to KO that character with this Deathstroke out. And then the last card is going to be Doomsday, Engine of Destruction. At the start of the combat phase, KO a character you control, but he's a 1919 beat stick. And once you have Sinestro in your KO pile, he has flight and range, so it makes it a lot easier. So that I think I got everything in terms of the deck, but so yeah, that's pretty much the deck profile portion of this video, just to show everybody the cards and what they do. So now we're actually going to play test the deck right now, and we're going to go ahead and just start things off. All right, let's go ahead and shuffle our deck a few times here as we do. Oop, looks like I got a little glitch there. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw our 4 cards. And actually, before we do that, let's flip to see who gets the even initiative. So we'll go ahead and flip a coin. If it's heads, we'll get the initiative. And it is tails, so we will be on the even initiative. So let's go and draw our cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This hand is a little awkward because we obviously want Sinestro in the KO pile, and we can do that with Mobilize, but in order to play Mobilize, we have to have a character in play. And since we don't really have a character until turn 4, if we wanted to just play Sinestro, I don't think this is a very good hand to keep. If we had like a 3-cost or a 2-cost character, I would definitely consider keeping it, but I think I'm going to mulligan anyway. Okay, we got a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 6 drop, but we don't have any locations or plots, but we're forced to keep this hand, so let's get started. Okay, turn 1 is going to be our opponent, so let's draw our 2 cards, and okay, we hit 1, but now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which is pretty good. So our opponent takes their turn, they play their cards, and we'll go ahead and take our turn. We're going to play this in our face down, and then we are actually going to play the Riddler. Riddle me this into the concealed area. And before the combat phase starts, let's go ahead and activate Riddler, and we're going to mill ourselves a card into the KO pile. And we milled, we could have used that. Straight to the Grave, so they can't play 2-cost plot twist this turn, which I guess is fine. So let's go ahead and go to recovery. Now, before the draw step, we could activate Riddler to mill ourselves again, but I'm going to take the draw this time, and hopefully we draw something good. Oh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. So it's our initiative, so we're going to put that into our resource row, and we're definitely going to recruit Dr. Sivana, and we're going to just go ahead and activate him now. We're going to draw a card and then discard a card. We're going to discard this Charaxes, and drawing remote facility was pretty decent. Okay, we're going to go ahead and activate Riddler's effect, put a card into the KO pile, and our opponents cannot play 1-cost plot twist. And hitting Chemo was really good because next turn we're going to play Poison Ivy and potentially get him back. So let's say it's they'd maybe attack us for some damage. We go ahead and go to, let me just check and see. We could also straight to the grave here, but I don't think we need to do it yet. So let's go ahead and go to next turn. Turn 3 is going to be their initiative. Okay, so they play their turn, they play their resource, maybe recruit a character, so we'll take our turn. I guess we'll put the remote facility down here because the reason why I decided to put this down instead of Omnipotence, because if we mill something with these cards, and by the way, the term mill, if you're not familiar with it, means just taking the top card of your deck and putting it into a KO pile. And I think the origin of that runs from the magic card Millstone. So that's just, if I say the word mill, now you know what I mean. But okay, so we're on turn 3. Let's go ahead and activate Dr. Sivana, and we will draw a card. Ooh, not bad. And we will discard a card. Actually, I probably should have, if I'd known I was going to draw that, I would have probably not played my resource yet. But anyway, okay, I guess we can go ahead and mill with Riddler, and we're going to mill 2, so they can't play, our opponents can't play 2-cost plot twist. And we're going to go ahead and recruit Poison Ivy. And we're going to go to combat. So at the start of the combat phase, her effect is going to trigger, which is going to get us back Chemo, since we do have a 1-drop in there. So we get to recruit him. So we got 4 characters. So yeah, I should have waited. Then I could have drawn an extra card. But okay, let's say our opponent, it's their attack, and maybe they, let's just say for sake of argument, they stun our Poison Ivy and they attack us for some direct damage. Depending on what they have on their side of the field, if they don't have any characters in their visible area, we could hit for 1 with Chemo, and then we can also activate his effect to KO him to replace something in their resource row as a potential, strategy. And we'll get him back next turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So okay, let's go to recovery and recover our dudes. And it's going to be our initiative this turn, so we'll draw 1 and 2. And I am going to put the birthing chamber down and play that. And fortunately, we do have our 4-drop, and we are going to play Mr. Gorilla Grodd. And it is going to be our attack, so we can set up a formation where we have these 2 characters in the front row, because we don't have, let me check this again really quick. I don't think we have Sinestro. No, we don't, because we mulligan, that's right. Now, we also could play straight to the grave and get Sinestro into the KO pile, but I'd rather save this for if we don't hit a turn 5. And let's go ahead and activate Sivana first, and we'll draw a card. And we could discard Chemo. And then Riddler, we're going to mill a card too, and that is a straight to the grave. So they can't play 2-cost plot twist this turn. And then let's go ahead and we can flip this up now to draw a card, I guess. Oh man, if we could find some way to get him in the KO pile, then we could have actually, you know what? We can. I forgot we had this. Okay, so this is going to be something cool. we're going to activate this. We're going to discard Riddler, and we're going to get a, it's a character, I believe it's a character card. Let me read. Yeah, Secret Society character. So we're going to discard him and look at all the cards. We're just going to get back, I don't know, a Chemo or a Sivana. I don't know if it really matters or not, but we'll just get one of these guys back. Okay, so here's the cool part now that I wanted to, I'm glad we were actually able to do this on video, on the camera. So, start of the combat phase, poison IVs, effect triggers. So we're going to take a character with cost 1, which is going to be this Riddler, and we're going to put him into play. And this gets around the unique rule since it's during the combat phase, which is really awesome. So we know that they can't play 2-cost plot twist, so we're going to mill again, and they can't play 3-cost plot twist. So we got kind of one of those awesome combos set up where we have 2 Riddlers out, and now we can, so our opponents can't play 2 and 3-cost plot twist. It is kind of unfortunate we missed that mobilize, that we didn't get it into our hand. But, so anyway, we could do some attacking here. So depending on what they recruited, obviously, and how what their formation is, we'll attack with Grodd first, and maybe a safe attack with Poison Ivy. And hopefully we don't get any stun damage when we attack. So, or we could also, you know, do a strategy where we attack with Grodd and then keep her unexhausted. Then we can activate this unnatural selection if we wanted to, because we currently have 7 cards in our KO pile. But I'm just going to play it like this and just assume that's what we kind of did. So, yeah, so let's go to recovery now. And let's just assume we get to keep all of our characters. And then let's go to the next draw phase, which we draw 1 and 2. Okay, mobilize, not bad. So turn 5 is going to be their build. You know, they do their own thing. And then they play their 5-drop. And then we're going to take our turn now. So we have kind of a couple of interesting lines we can do here. We can play Gorilla City in our resource row. We can play Omnipotence and flip it up and name a card, maybe like Savage Beatdown if they play that in the deck, or like some kind of key card. And now I would argue that if we were on the initiative this turn, I would play Gorilla City face down so that we can use it because it's a target Secret Society attacker. But since that's the case, since this isn't our initiative this turn, I guess I would play this, maybe flip it up right away because we can only play it during the build phase. Maybe name something like Savage Beatdown, as I mentioned before. So I think what I would like to do this time, I think we're going to activate Straight to the Grave, and then we are going to put one of these agilities in here, and then we're going to put Black Manta in here, I think. Now, you could also put Path of Destruction into the KO pile, which I'm not sure if that's better or not now that I think about it. You know what? Now, we'll just leave agility in there. So we'll put those in there. Oops, I accidentally closed and shuffled, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and activate our remote facility. We'll discard, I guess, Sivana. And then we will get back Black Manta to our hand. And then we will recruit Black Manta. And when we do, we also have to go back into our KO pile because we get to recruit Charaxes there as well. And now we can activate Birthing Chamber, the draw 2, and discard 1. And I guess Charaxes would be a good target. All right, we got a Path of Destruction anyway. So let's go ahead and form something like, I don't know if this is the right way to form or not, but I guess we'll just do it this way. So let's say they have a character with flight and decide to attack Charaxes. Well, one thing that we could do is we could activate Gorilla Grodd's effect to KO a character, which would be Charaxes. We would draw 2 and discard 2 cards. So 1 and 2. I don't think I need this one, and I don't think I'm going to need... Well, Deathstroke we can recruit next turn anyway. So we could do a strategy like that. And also if they decide to attack black mana, well, let's go ahead and pay our 3 life to return a card from our KO pile to our hand. So maybe mobilize or straight to the grave. You could also try to do a thing where you return this and try to, you know, get some defense. And of course, Poison Ivy's effect, I just remembered, I forgot. So let's just put this into play. And I should probably activate Riddler now. So they can't play 2-cost plot twist, and they can't play 1-cost plot twist. So obviously all that stuff you should do before the combat phase. I just kind of missed it. I forgot about it. But hopefully, so yeah, they do stuff like that. Let's go ahead and activate Sivana. Maybe we draw something. Yeah, I don't really need her. So yes, don't forget to use your character effects, because clearly I did. Okay, so let's say they do an attack where they stun Ivy and then maybe stun Gorilla Grodd and they can't hit Black Manta. Now, depending on what they have on the field is what you decide to do with your Black Manta. You either attack or you don't attack. But if they have a character stun, you could also flip up unnatural selection. Unnatural selection. And you can exhaust the KO on the cards. Maybe it's a 4-cost, so we both mill 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if this is the state of the board right now, we're obviously going to have to lose Ivy during the recovery phase. But we can also KO Chemo to replace if they have a non-team up plot twist that's just causing problems. Like, for an example, if they have their own birthing chamber, that's another card you can get rid of. So I'm just going to go ahead and we'll go to recovery, KO Poison Ivy, recover Grodd, ready all of our cards, and then it's going to be ours initiative next. So we'll go ahead and draw 2. 1, 2. And then we're definitely going to time to put Gorilla City down here. And then we are going to go ahead and discard a card. Okay, I'm going to discard this Mobilize only because we might use this Gorilla Grodd to power up. But anyway, let's go ahead and get our Deathstroke out. Now, there is also an option where you don't have to get Deathstroke from the KO pile. You can play Mobilize and get Mr. Freeze if you want to, but I decided to do this, so we're going to play Deathstroke in the hidden area, and since he gets recruited, we get Charaxes back also. And then we'll kind of do some formation like this. And maybe I want to activate these effects now. So let's go ahead and do Sivana. So draw a card. Don't need that one. Riddler mills a 5. So if they can't play 5-drop plot twist, and they can't play 7-cost plot twist. Okay, not ideal hits, but we can recruit that Doomsday if necessary for next turn. So yeah, let's go ahead and since it's our attack, we're going to actually have a good turn. Oh, let's go ahead and draw 2 and discard a card. 1, 2. Let's go ahead and discard this Polaris. Okay, so it's the combat phase. So we're actually going to do something pretty cool this turn. So let's say we do an attack with Grodd and hit their 3-drop, and maybe Charaxes attacks one of their characters as well. And here's the cool thing is you can have Charaxes attack a 5 or a 6-drop, because I'm going to show you a kind of a cool trick here. So we have Gorilla City, which we're going to flip, activate, mill the top card of our deck into here. And if we have, he gets +1 attack, but if we have 10 or more cards in our KO pile, it's going to be +3 attack. So Charaxes gets +3 attack, so making him a total of 6. We're going to play Path of Destruction. And I just want to look at my KO pile for a second. I don't think we have any more copies of it. And actually, I'm going to leave the KO pile right here for a second. So I don't have to keep going back to it, because I'm going to show everybody a strategy here. So, okay. So Charaxes +6. He gets +2 for Path of Destruction. This goes into our KO pile now. Now we have this other one in our hand, which he's going to get a +4 attack now. So that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He has 12 attack. So most 6 cost characters are normally 12 or 13 defense. And for whatever reason, we can pay the 3 with black mana with his effect to get this back into our hand for another +4 attack. So that's a 16 attack a 2-drop can be, which is pretty crazy. So let's say we did that. We took that line. We would obviously get hit back and take some stun damage. Now, cool thing about Grodd is it's KO a Secret Society character you control. It's not non-stun or in any of that. So you could activate this to KO Charaxes to draw 2 cards and then discard a card. And oh my gosh, another Path of Destruction. That's insane. So let's say black mana attacks, and then we get +6 attack with this new Path of Destruction. Now, unfortunately, his ability is only once per turn, so we can't get any more cards back. But then we can attack with this and attack with this. And fortunately, we were on the initiative this turn, so having the attack on the initiative is always on the even initiative is always pretty good, especially with this deck because you could just play a bunch of Path Destructions and hopefully kill your opponent by this turn. And the other thing that, let's say for an example, we went to turn 7. I'll just kind of play. I was going to stop it at turn 6 because that's when this deck usually wins. But we'll play at turn 7 just to show another strategy with this deck. So, okay. So let's say turn 7 is their initiative. They play their stuff, right? So we're going to go ahead and take our turn right now. So we'll play a card in the resource row. I guess we'll go ahead and draw our 2 cards and discard 1. We'll discard a Polaris. Now, also, we could have, during the game, we could have KO'd some of these characters to get back, for an example, we could have got back the agility card, but I guess I didn't really show that a whole lot, but that's at the start of the recovery phase, you can do that. Or you can KO, I think you can KO you may KO a character you control. So yeah, it doesn't matter if it's stunned or non-stunned for agility's effect. I was just reading that. But let's say let's go ahead and play our turn 7. And let's go ahead and discard, I don't know, Grodd. And get that. I know that we had that Doomsday from here. So he has loyalty too. So we recruit that Doomsday, which then allows us to recruit Charaxes and then I guess we form something like this. I don't know. Grodd does have range. So I guess we could put him in the back. Maybe something like that. So then Doomsday's ability at the start of the recovery phase, KO a character you control. So, we could still do our mill thing here where they can't play 6-cost plot twist and they can't play 6-cost plot twist. No, that's not ideal. And I just realized we have 8 cards left in our deck. And I think this would be a good time to mention that in this game, you don't lose by decking out because that's less cards you have to draw. But, so yeah, so then if we KO with, whoops, let me get this out of the way. So with Doomsday's effect at the start of the combat phase, you KO a character you control. So you can KO the Charaxes because, when you play higher 5 or greater cost characters, you just keep getting him back. You could also maybe KO this Chemo here as an option, but then you could just beat face for a bunch of damage and all that good fun stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty long video, longer than usual, but I think it's an important deck to kind of showcase because a lot of people play this deck, and I think it's really important to show people. This is a very competitive deck. This is probably one of the most competitive builds of Secret Society that I've seen, and this is actually, I do have the paper version of this deck, but I haven't really played it a whole lot because I think I just got the deck in 2020, so I have played it with friends, and I'm actually going to go to my local game shop, and I'm probably going to play this deck tonight. So just a really fun deck. It's a really great way that it uses the KO pile as a good resource, has some other kind of cool effects you can do with the characters and the plot twist as, we kind of looked at here today. But yeah, I'm going to call it quits for this episode. Thank you everybody for watching. Um, Thank you so much for viewing all of my content on my YouTube channel. I've noticed that this past year I've grown up a lot. Oh, oh, sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I noticed that my views per video have been growing a lot. So I've been getting like close to 100 views for each video that I've done. So thank you everybody who's kind of watched the videos, and thank you to everybody who's liked and comment on all of my videos and who's subscribed. And if you haven't liked, comment, or subscribed to the channel, you can do that right now if you really want to. So yeah, so that's about it for this episode. And thank you everybody for watching. And I will see you all next time.